Hi everyone, welcome to the Move More YouTube channel. My name is Marissa and I am leading you guys through this Iyengar Style yoga class today. It'll be 30 minutes. We'll be moving through 12 different poses and we're just going to take our time today and really focus on our breath and focus on our strength and mobility today. So with all of that being said, to get started, I'm going to be on my yoga mat. If you have a block or a book nearby, I think it'd be really valuable to have for some of these poses, as well as a bolster or a pillow, or just anything that can help give you a little bit of support behind your back whenever we move down to the ground. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. All right, so we will be starting in mountain pose. I'm gonna go ahead and start facing the long side of my mat. I'm gonna have my yoga block in front of me. And I think we're ready to rock and roll. So, starting in mountain pose. So we're gonna start with our feet about hip width apart. I'm gonna really spread my toes apart as much as I can. And I'm gonna just put a slight bend in my knees. The reason I do that is when we tend to stand up nice and tall, we lock our knees, and that can lead to a lot of things that we don't want to happen. So just a nice gentle bend in the knees. From here, we're gonna move into the hips, turning the hips under, really trying to get rid of that arch in the back. And we're gonna draw the belly button in towards the spine, and that just all encourages you to stand up tall. Draw the shoulders down, bringing the shoulder blades together in the back, shoulders down. Our arms are gonna be out by the side. I'm gonna have my palms facing towards the front. And then from here, just drawing the chin back so slightly so that the neck is in line with the spine so we can have one nice long line. Great, and we're gonna get started here in mountain pose. So hopefully you've adjusted, you've wiggled, and now I want you to try to be as still and as calm as you can. And just close your eyes. And today, breathe. I'm gonna be breathing in and out through my nose. And if you would like to do that, it's allergy season, so pollen is moving, flowers are blooming, so I really want to focus on my sinuses today as well. So just find the breath. With each exhale, try to draw the shoulders down just a little bit. Finding the breath, feeling what feels tight and just recognizing it, and also recognizing what feels nice and relaxed at the beginning of class. So in traditional Iyengar yoga, you are focusing on a few poses through each session, and you're holding those poses to really focus on proper technique, proper poses, proper balance. And that's why props are usually introduced. And that way you can just hold those balances, hold those poses how you need to with proper support so that you can really enjoy that pose. On your next inhale, we're going to take the arms overhead, reaching the palms up to the ceiling. And on our exhale, let's just pull forward. And I'm just reaching my hands in front of me, hinging at the hips, beginning to lower down. We can take our hands to the shins to get started. And I'm not totally collapsing my neck. I am keeping the length in the spine and in the neck. If you'd like to bring your yoga block or your book and hold it up in front of you, that's awesome. And we're just bending at the hips, keeping the back nice and long, nice and straight. And again, finding the breath. If you are able to reach all the way down to the ground, that's great. Let's start by lowering all the way down to the palms and having the palms flat on the floor. You need to give a slight bend in the knees to get to that pose. Go ahead. But I'm gonna move a little bit slower. I'm gonna stay up just a little bit, just that way my calves and my hamstrings really get a good slow stretch. So we're holding each pose for about 2 minutes. So we've got a couple moments in each pose to just find the place that feels best. And you'll notice with each exhale, you may be falling a little bit further, so you may need to adjust your block or your book so that you can continue to fold forward as your hips allow. And now you can drop the crown of the head down towards the ground and just relax and let everything fall nice and heavy. Before we roll up, I'm going to put my block on the tall side facing up. On my next inhale, I'm lifting halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Slightly bending the knees and inhale, rolling it all the way up. And exhale at the top. Now let's spread our feet apart. I'm going a little bit wider than hip width apart. So I'm about 5'3". I have my feet about 3 feet across. So it's not super wide, but we are getting ourselves a little bit of room in between our feet here. Let's take our arms up parallel with the floor. Palms are facing down. Take a deep breath in, and on your next inhale, I'm lowering my right arm towards that block. And so I want to focus on getting the right arm down first. So let's watch our hips. We don't want to twist. We don't want to lower to one side. We want to keep our hips as parallel as we can, lowering that right arm to the floor. And once we feel really good and established here, we can begin to take our focus and the left arm up to the ceiling. Again, watch the hips, keep them nice and squared to get the most out of this pose. Find the breath, relaxing the jaw. And you may notice you'd like to go down a little bit further. You can adjust your block. And exhale, bringing everything down to center. Slightly bending the knees, and we're going to inhale and roll it all the way up. Very nice. Inhale, bringing the arms up parallel, palms facing down. On our exhale, we're beginning to twist, lowering to the left. So my left arm is lowering to the ground. Watch those hips. You naturally, even I do it, and I watch myself do it. I naturally want to draw my hips over. Keep them squared. Lower the hips, lower the hand, and then begin to twist, opening up to the right. If you don't have a block or any assistance here, that's okay. Just know your limits and know how far you need to go. If you need to stay here, that's totally fine. Just watch those hips. I keep adjusting mine. It is natural to adjust. Try to keep them centered. And exhale, bring everything back to center. Very nice. Now let's take our block over towards the right foot. Let's come to center. We're going to bend the knees and slowly roll it up. From here, we're moving into our Warrior One pose. So we're going to get our feet set out for Warrior One. So I would like you to turn that right toe out to the short side of the mat. And we're going to keep our left toe facing the long side, but we're going to adjust that heel to push it back a little bit further past our toes. Keeping our legs straight, we're going to go into a triangle pose first. So we're going to take our hands up. My palms are facing you, thumbs are up to the ceiling. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, now we can hinge our hips. So we are shifting our hips towards the back. And we are lowering the hand, the right arm down towards the ground, reaching for that block, placing it right behind the ankle, and reaching the left arm up to the ceiling. Really squeezing in the core. You should be squeezing in the thighs, in your feet. Use your feet for balancing. If your neck starts to feel weird, you can always just take it back down to the ground. Find what feels good. And if at any point you're in pain, come out of the pose. Pain is never a good thing. Being uncomfortable is okay. And in Iyengar poses, you are holding them, so at times you will be uncomfortable. Very nice. Let's drop both of the arms down to the floor. We're just going to hang our nose towards the knee, collapsing everything over. And from here, we're moving into Warrior One. So I'm going to put a bend in my right knee, bringing my right knee over the right ankle. My left leg should stay where it is. And when I feel nice and ready, squeeze the core, squeeze the thighs. Inhale, lifting the arms up overhead. Great job. Find that breath again. Watch the core, watch the tailbone. Really keep everything nice and tight. Your whole body should be engaged. Light running through your fingertips, pushing out of your toes. Good, and if you feel good, you can go a little bit deeper into that Warrior One hinge in the legs. Nice and calm breath. Staying here for just another moment. Deep breath in through the nose. And on our exhale, I'm lowering my hands to the floor and I'm stepping my back foot up so I can be in a forward fold. Just using that block here to help relax. Let's inhale, lifting halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Grab the mat, the block while you're here, and slide, roll it up nice and slow. Very good. Facing back to you. Now I'm going to set the mat over on the left side so I can stay facing you. I'm stepping my feet wider than hip width apart. And now I'm going to take my left toe and turn my left toe towards the short side of the mat, drawing my right heel slightly past my toes. Deep breath in, lifting the arms up parallel with the floor, turning my thumbs up to the ceiling, shifting my weight into that back hip, deep breath in, and on the exhale, lean forward. You can find the block, placing it behind the left ankle. And again, if you don't have a block, just hold that core. Keep tight. Really be squeezing the thighs, squeezing the toes, pushing them into the ground. If you're feeling nice and balanced, you can take your focus up to the ceiling. And at any point, if you want to adjust your blocks and take yourself down lower, or if you're uncomfortable and want to come up higher, that's okay. And on your next exhale, lower both hands down to the ground, turning the hips, lowering the nose to the knee. You can move that block out of the way. Next, we'll be getting set up for our Warrior One pose. Just pause here, really letting the hips stretch. And slightly bending the left knee, taking the knee over the ankle, pushing into the back toe and the back heel. And when you feel ready on your next inhale, lifting up, bringing the arms overhead. Again, check the posture, drop the shoulders down, draw the belly button in, bring the knee on top of the ankle. We're all gonna look different while we're in this pose, as long as it feels good. Remember to find the breath, nice and slow. Try to relax the jaw. In each pose, you have the time to evaluate from your head down to your toes, how everything feels. Keep the breath nice and steady. Deep breath into the nose. On your next exhale, lower the hands down to the floor, bringing the back foot up, reaching into a forward fold, drawing the head all the way down. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bending at the knees. Inhale, roll it all the way up. Exhale at the top. Take a deep breath in, drawing the arms up overhead. On the exhale, forward fold. We're going to plant the hands and get ready to step our feet back into downward dog. Just stepping one foot back at a time, nice and slow, nice and steady. You can begin with pedaling it out. Find that comfortable spot. Really spread the fingertips apart, shift some of that weight into the fingers and take a little bit off of the wrist. Extending the arms to a straight position, drawing the elbow creases to the front of the room. Really pushing the heels down, drawing the armpits up towards the hips. And this was probably one of the most uncomfortable poses for me in the beginning. But when you do it every day, even just for a few moments, it does get easier. Nice job. Let's move into a plank pose. We won't stay here for very long. Let's lower the hips. Take a deep breath in. And on our exhale, let's lower ourselves down to chaturanga and go all the way down to the floor. Turn the toes under. Next, we're going to spend a few minutes here in cobra pose. So adjust the hands so that your thumbs are right under the chest. Your elbows are nice and tight, tucked into the body. And on your next inhale, let's lift the focus up. Find the adjustments that you need to make. Really pulling the shoulders away from the ears. My toes have energy pushing through them. If you feel like you want to keep moving up and continue to push up, keep going, however feels good to you. I am choosing to stay down in cobra. Just lifting the chest, really stretching that back, and glutes are engaged. feel it all over. Just drop your forehead to the floor. Move the arms to the side. We'll just take a moment to pause, letting everything fall. We'll slowly roll to one side. We're going to swing our feet around and in front of us so that we can be in staff pose. So from here, I'm in a seated position. My feet are going to be stretched out in front of me. And I'm going to start with keeping my left leg in an extended pose, and I'm going to bend the right knee, crossing it up and over the left. And from here, I'm just going to give that knee a nice hug and begin to twist to my right. Nothing crazy, not trying to make any popping happen. We're just giving a nice gentle twist in the spine. My left toe is still in a flexed position. My body is all engaged still. Everything is active. You can take your focus over the right shoulder if you would like. And just think about sitting up nice and tall, keeping that tailbone tucked under, keeping the belly button pulled tight into the core. Continuing to breathe nice and steady, relaxing the jaw. It's harder on whenever we're twisting, you tend to tighten the neck and the mouth up, but let's keep everything nice and relaxed. And let's get ready to switch. So bringing the focus back to the front, extending the right leg out, bending the left knee, crossing it up and over, starting in the front, sitting up tall, beginning to hug that left knee and twisting over to the left. When you feel ready, you can take the focus over the left shoulder. And unwinding, bringing everything back to the front. Very good. So from here, we are going to go onto our backs, and this is where we're going to grab our bolster or our pillow, and we're going to lay it down under our back. So I want it to be directly under my tailbone, so you may need to lay down on the ground and slowly walk yourself back. So for those who are new to inversions, this is a great way to get started. That way you can train that neck and learn how to feel comfortable with our feet elevated. So I'm just drawing my arms out to the side, and we're going to start and lift our feet up to the ceiling. Good. So I've just got the balls of my feet up to the sky. I'm really stretching my legs out to a straight position. I think for a lot of people, getting here can be a challenge. Getting those legs as straight as possible. And then even having the feet elevated over the head. So it's nice to have that bolster so you can give yourself a little extra support here so that your legs can get elevated a little bit more. Let's roll the ankles, making circles with the toes. And switch. And flex. So if you ever do a workout point and you know you're going to be really sore afterwards, you can lay like this. That way the lactic acid doesn't build up, because that's what it is that makes you sore. So you can keep the blood flowing and let the legs lift. That way it can all run out of the legs essentially. We used to do that in high school. All right. Okay, so from here, I'd like you to lift the hips up, bringing those toes a little bit over the head, and we're gonna draw this bolster or pillow in as close to our shoulder blades as we can. So lift up and draw it in nice and close, and then begin to lower your legs back down to the floor. So now I'd like your bolster to be mostly under your shoulder blades, and then letting your hips on the ground. So it's similar to fish pose, but we're gonna let the bolster do a lot of the work for us. So just take your arms out to the side, really stretching the back out. And just let the legs relax. And if this feels uncomfortable, just keep walking yourself down so that your hips are on the floor. And that way you can just give your shoulders a nice, good shoulder stretch. And let's begin to roll ourselves to one side. And we're gonna lift ourselves up so that we can take the bolster out from underneath us. So slide that puppy off to one side. And let's go back to laying down on our backs. I'm bringing my knees up to the ceiling so my feet are flat on the floor. My arms are just out to the side. I'm gonna take a nice deep breath in. And when we exhale, I'm just letting my knees fall over to one side. I am keeping my knees together, just letting them stack on top of each other. And coming back to center and reversing, letting the legs fall to the left. And bringing everything back into center. And we'll finish in Savasana. So let's lengthen the legs out, laying them straight on the floor, and just placing your hands wherever you are comfortable. We want to let the shoulders relax. We want to let the whole body relax in just the last few minutes of class. Trying to be completely still and only focusing on the breath. And with each inhale, try to take those breaths just a little bit deeper, really letting the lungs expand. And when you exhale, letting everything go, letting all the muscles fall and relax. Give me 3 more breaths just like this, nice and slow. Each one being a little bit deeper than the one before. You have the time now to evaluate, feeling the body all the way from the heads down to the toes, noticing if you're more relaxed now than when we began. Very good. Slowly wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, and moving the body, moving the wrists and the ankles, and just waking everything back up nice and slowly. And whenever you're ready, roll to one side and seat yourself up. All right, you guys, thank you so very much for joining me. I do appreciate it. If you liked the video and wanted to move more with me, please subscribe to the Move More YouTube channel. Have a great day.